It's Podraza. I'm not making any of this up. I have some listed here. We've discussed South Beach diet. They got some new fandangled ones here. Atkins, those other ones I've never heard of some of these things. Weight Watchers is the one I felt was fairly sound nutritionally way back. I could not eat the volume of the food. I had to cut the portions within increments. I couldn't do it. And then I kept gaining weight on it, even on that situation. I have kept it to what I've said to you. It is closest to the Atkins, closest to South Beach, closest to what I call old country. That was what I was raised with and by. There's Irish cookbooks. There's some Polish ones. It's supposed to be Austrian Polish. Anyway, Austrians are very good on pastry, but I was not raised with that pastry. I do enjoy a cheesecake once in a while with homemade blueberry sauce. That is very nice on it, or strawberry. That's a yen I have every once in a while. I do like shortbread crust, but that doesn't have the nutrition in it, as some of the others, Graham does, and things like that. So I have brought in the whole grains in that fashion. I think what I'm eating is sound. Now, how we all got that in the system is beyond me. Lee's disappeared by a miracle. Melanie's was benign. She had the same foam in her lip that I did. He didn't say it straight out, but don't tell me that round. The implication was there. I think I'm doing well. But I'm going to tell you, stress will kill you. One way or another, stress is going to kill you, period. I've lived a lot of stress in my life, even balancing budgets on this. That does have to be handled with a wellness wall or a lowered month plus. I require what I'm on. I've analyzed that. I think what Joe Hall and I went through on this is pretty darn sound. It's handling the blood pressure, CoQ10, the heart. Those are all that's handling the heart as much as I can. I've walked off heart attacks, and I haven't been getting that problem right now. I've walked them off. Now, that is where this is at, not how to rest at night. I think we've covered that pretty well on that subject matter. One has to understand Natrium muriaticum and the impact of that. I am not an expert on that. But boy, don't take me into PhD level statistics. I don't want to hear about it. But I would not have passed that course because it looks like engineering terms to me. But anyway, that is where I'm at on the food, is close to what I was raised on both sides of the family. On this, meat was allowed and a staple of life. Fish, it borders on some French cooking also. Italians are in the family. I don't see anything wrong with that. They've had bread in their lives for their lives. Good sauces, things like that. Moderation on subjects on that. I would like to eliminate the bread in the night. I haven't been able to do so. It is a long, thin loaf that's a thick slice. Cream base I have to keep in right now. It cuts the acid impact in my stomach. I have an acidic stomach, so I can touch only in one fashion. It's cucumbers. My father used to make them with apple cider vinegar, onions in it. Yes, I've got to add sour cream in it. It cuts the acidity of the apple cider vinegar. Even applesauce is a little rough. I temper it with the other fruits in it, such as strawberry, pears, cherries on occasion. Cinnamon a little bit. I can work with some of it, not all of it. It's reasonable in price. I think we've covered that. I don't think you can fault me on that. I would make my own homemade ice cream. That is about as old country in my family as I can come up with. Dad did not die of a poor diet. Heart attacks are doing better. There haven't been any. I have to, if I get too upset, I cannot sustain it and I have to rest. That was a rough discussion last night on something. I looked at it, keel over dead. Now, the situation is there has to be a balance of Ixmielski. Now, juices are a bit acidic. I told you I can cook them and use crumb topping. I don't use a double-crusted pie, except 50-cent ones when I crave pecan pie. That's generally what I crave on and all. Now, the subject matter, what is the next thing that I wanted to say on this? I do clot blood. I literally hit my leg on it. I watched the flow of the blood. I used some Kleenex on that. It clotted very quickly. That's good. I don't require Coumadin on that, a blood thinner at all. The clotting on my body is doing very well. I don't know about bugs. They crave me, and they come on me, and I have a hat swatting them. Bees, don't tell me I don't know what I'm using with animals and bugs, but that's the problem with that, and I can't be bitten anymore. That's about as good as I can go with what I have suffered. The heart is improving on what I'm on. I don't know what to say to you on that. On the emotional stuff, I've got to deal with it personally. A male has to understand what I'm saying. And to understand, I can cook him other stuff, a good corn out on a grill, a steak if he wants it. Rainbow trout is outstanding, and I can stuff it. I don't want to see the eyes, I'll tell you. And I can't kill a deer. I mean, that Alpha program is an interesting one. He couldn't kill, the wolf had to. It's a beautiful story, that movie. The original Horse Whisperer, they blew it away with the second version. I do believe in that. Animals, I do talk to them. It may sound bizarre, but I do. Anyway, that's what I would do. I love animals. Rabid, you got to watch out for. Rabid deer, rabid fox, you don't want to go near a rabid animal. And that's the truth. Don't go near it. Fish, we have to have, I asked the question on that. I don't want them fed junk. And that is where we're at. It has to be, the oceans are polluted a bit, I think. That's why sharks are coming closer in for food. I think that is a summary. I'm going to finish it on the phone. Anger management, I'm going to turn that around. If you were called that, what would you be saying? Calmly, so that you look good, so that your image is correct, so that you come out smelling like a rose because you're supposed to? I am kind to those who are afflicted. Even when I watch a TV, I can tell the difference. And I'm going to tell you that this is unheard of. Anger management, that would have destroyed my whole life. It would have destroyed the whole family. I don't want any more impact on my son due to this, or more ruined relationships with my son and daughter. When your diagnosis of that kind is majorly wrong, I don't need a psychiatrist. I need a husband who knows the difference. And I've asked for one for quite some length of time. Now, I'm going to tell you, no, I don't, and I won't spend any more time telling them their own business. I do not have any problem with the annulment there. I don't know who input some info, but I didn't understand who that board was. Somebody had to have believed in us there anyway. I didn't know whether to go on with a wedding when his mother said it was a small wedding. That's what Mom and Dad had money for at the time. Said he's funny sometimes. Nobody said anything in that living room, and I didn't know what to say because I'd never heard of that term before. But I've dealt with those that didn't want to work, that were run-around types, didn't have any drive or energy, didn't care about career, and I did. He was a worker. I took the chance on that. The marriage was troublesome. That's all I will say. The annulment was gotten in 1988, I think, and that should hold. Well, I've had problems here on that tremendously, and Massachusetts is too busy downing books and courses to even be involved with getting upset about that. Took my maiden name around 1988. The children were old enough, and I asked them their permission. I preferred my father's name at that point in time. Did it again with Philip Weber. That marriage should have never taken place. The medication has been mentioned as my being allergic to it. My mother thought so. She thought it was a harm to me, as was another. Now, that is where we're at on this. I don't know how you feel I should be exonerated. I feel that I shouldn't be because there's no need to be. But it has impacted Massachusetts, and it has impacted Maine. And I'm telling you, this is connected with an element of the counseling industry. I wish to be here. There is somebody, I think, who has believed in me here. There's familiarity here. You must exonerate, if necessary, that I was an affair in Connecticut. That can be handled because it's the truth. Or you're lying and never believed in that situation. Anyway, I've never had an affair in my life, and I don't intend to. And I'm no way a lesbian. And boy, that can be straightened out. Have a good evening. I don't wish you to continue any longer.